It won't last. Look.
That's because I already did my 10,000 steps today.
Told you so.
Screw you, son. I'm going home.
And although my mind tells me that she's a messy, tacky bitch.
Today's segment is pretty much talking about pick a struggle.
You'll pick a struggle.
You have to pick a struggle.
Gotta pick a struggle, bruh.
You need to pick the goddamn struggle.
You have 3. Then that's it. It is over for you. You have to pick a struggle.
Hello. Y'all sit, calm down over there. Please, calm down. My dog's been fighting all morning. Not really fighting, but they've been playing. And that's how they play. They play by biting each other. Don't understand it, but that's what's happening. So, welcome back to the Pick a Struggle show. This is Dre Day, all day, every day. We're over here. We try to take struggles in our lives, in celebrities' lives, and try to change those struggles into standards. We've been gone for a minute. I think 2 weeks, maybe. I think it's been like 2 shows. 2 shows we've been gone, but we are here. Well, I am here. Let me say that. So we have a new Facebook page. I had to create another one because Mark Zuckerberg is a douche. And so created a new Facebook page. So go to Facebook, type in Pick a Struggle. You'll see our picture there. And we're also on Station Head right now. If you download the app or go to Station Head on your web browser, type in Pick a Struggle, and there we are right there with the same fucking picture. And then we're also on YouTube. We're not live on YouTube now, but this video will be uploaded onto YouTube. So I'm early and late at the same time. No, I'm just late. Because our show was supposed to start at 4, but I was like, let's do it till 5. But, child, I had fell asleep and now I'm woke. So we're going to get through this before I got to go to work. Because I'm going to leave the house. So this show is going to be an hour. And then I'm going to be going up out of here and go to work. But happy Mother's Day to everybody. I hope you guys are having a nice Mother's Day. Hope y'all are having fun in this heat. I just, ugh.
Tonight we break down the...
Hold on, no, not you, Chad. But, why is it so hot? Why is it so freaking hot? It's like 90 degrees outside. But Chad. So, hold on. Jazz. Sam. Simmer down. Okay? Ooh, Jesus. Because they distracted me with all that noise they be making. Like, can y'all play in silence, please? But anyway, so let me give y'all the reason why we ain't been here. Okay? So, I think the week before last, I think we've been gone for 3 shows. For 3 weeks. So one it was LaPree's fault. No, because I don't remember. Anyway, LaPree didn't show up one show. And then the next one, I was like, I'm tired. I need some rest. I could have gotten up, but I decided not to. Sam, what you looking around for? You got to be careful when dogs start sniffing around, start looking around. They trying to find somewhere to pee. But anyway, so one week I was like, I need some rest. And that was so horrible. Getting some rest was really bad for me. Let me tell you why. Because I had laid in the bed for a couple of days in a row, and it totally messed my back up. My back was so messed up, I could barely get out of bed. And I was walking around like a pregnant woman in her 3rd trimester. Like, that's how bad it was. I couldn't bend over to pick up nothing. I couldn't do anything. You should have saw me trying to put socks on, Chad. My back was so janky. It was so messed up. And so I ended up going to the grocery store and buying some painkillers. And I think I took like 20 painkillers that night. That's how bad, like, for me to actually go to the store and buy some pills, because I really don't take medicine. Even when, you know, I get a little tickle in my throat or whatever, or whatever's going on with me, I do not get medicine. I don't buy medicine at all. And so in order for me, to get to the point where it's, okay, I need to go to the store and buy me some off-brand Advil or something, that's how you know I was just not feeling it. And so I had got the pills, swallowed like 20, 30 pills that night, and I was like, let me figure out how to sleep, or how to figure out how to lay down. And so I was able to, I had to lay on my side, put a pillow between my thighs. That's what WebMD. Does anybody else do that? Am I the only one? I can't be the only one that goes to WebMD and is like, child, these are my symptoms. How can I fix it? And so I went to WebMD and they was like, you know what? If you lay this way, it'll probably work. It'll probably help. And I was like, all right, cool. Tried it, and bam. The next day I was feeling wonderful. The back pain was like, it took a couple of days for the back pain to be completely gone, but it wasn't as bad as it was on the first day. So, let me see. Then the next one, I was supposed to go to Arkansas to visit a friend, but plans had fell through, so I was like, forget it, I'll just sleep the day in or whatever. But we're back. Hold on, I'm trying to look up something right quick. But yeah, we're back, and child, it's been so much going on. So to give y'all a little insight, a little background. So the last time, or the last show that was scheduled for us to do, we were going to talk about Kevin Samuels. We were going to talk about Kevin Samuels and this discussion that we saw on Facebook, or this commentary or whatever, this statement that he made about women, like single women with kids, shouldn't believe the kids if they're telling her that the man is abusing, not necessarily abusing them. Well, I mean, we could say that, but he was saying that the single mother of kids, if she's dating a man and the child is saying, oh, he's watching me come out the shower, or he's doing this and doing that, that the woman should not believe the kids. She should believe the husband, because children lie. Like men don't lie. But it was so weird, and it left a bad taste in my mouth. And so I was like, so we were going to talk about that, but you know, we were postponing it, and you know, it was like, okay, you know, we'll just do this later. Child, then he comes up dead. He wakes up dead. Not well, he didn't wake up dead, but he died. Okay. And you know what? When I saw the story, because Lepre was the one that put me on game. Lepre had told me, she sent me a text message or an article and said that Kevin had died. And I couldn't do nothing but laugh. I really couldn't do nothing but laugh. And people, you know, especially in, you know, the condition I'm in, because, you know, my mom had passed away in December. You know, some people will probably be wondering, why am I laughing as somebody died? Because it's the irony for me. Oh, I did not mean to say that. Because I hate when people say that. I hate when people say, oh, it's giving this, or it's the blank for me. I hate when people say that. Not that I hate it. I hear it so much, it gets annoying. So I laughed at Kevin Samuels dying because it was so ironic, and it was so totally out the blue. And I was just like, well, damn. Bitch, ain't none of us safe. But no, and then I'm sitting there thinking, I always thought people who raise a lot of hell get to live forever. Like that's their punishment. Apparently it's not, because Kevin Samuels was so controversial. He started so much ham between the sexes with black men and black women. That's what his target, well, not even his target audience, that was his only audience, black men and black women. And some of the stuff he said was very distasteful, kind of weird, and some will say abusive. And it's so funny to me. Not like a good bouncing, muscle flexing, throwing your head back kind of funny. It wasn't that kind of funny. It was just like, really? Are you serious? I mean, that's what it felt like. I did chuckle a little bit. But then in my mind, I'm sitting there thinking, like, ain't this some shit? That's what I was thinking. Because, and then, child, when you find out he died of, like, cardiac arrest, heart attack or something like that, that makes it even funnier. Because there's a clip where he's talking about a man, and the man was telling him like his height and weight, and he told the man, oh yeah, he's fat, he needs to lose weight. And then there's been other clips where he's talked about women saying that they're fat. This one was saying she's like 5'4", 200 pounds or something like that. And he's telling her, bitch, you bigger than a linebacker. And it is so funny. Because heart disease has been, what's the word I'm looking for? Propagandized? I hope that's a word. If it's not, I just made it up. Let's put that in the dictionary. But the propaganda behind heart disease has always been targeted as a fat person's disease. And Kevin Samuels wasn't fat. But it's do y'all understand how funny that is? The fact that we have always been taught that heart disease is a fat person's disease. Just like how we were always taught that diabetes was a fat person's disease. And yet, you got skinny people getting diabetes. And yet, you got Kevin Samuels' butt out here dying of a heart problem. When a part of his commentary was telling people that they were fat, and if they want to find a mate, they need to lose some weight. And yet, this man didn't have no wife. Who knows if he had a girlfriend, like a steady girlfriend? Because they were saying they was talking about the girl. Okay, so it was a woman that was with him. They were saying she was a nurse, but okay. Other people say different. And then, some people saying she was an escort. But we don't know. And I'm not going to, go down that road. It really didn't matter. The fact is, this man... Okay, let me line up some parallels for y'all. Have we've all seen the YouTubers that are like, y'all are broke. Look at my big house, look at this and look at that, and then come to find out that they ain't got none of that stuff. That's what Kevin Samuels reminded me of. He's telling people you need to do this and do that to find a mate, but yet he ain't even have nobody. He had 2 ex-wives, and I think he had a kid or 2, I think, maybe. So it's like, you got this man sitting up there. That's why I really don't. That's why it's kind of weird to me when people take advice from people when they don't even have it. I remember the first time seeing this was when I want to say it was with Steve Harvey. I want to say that was one of the things. Because people was taking relationship advice from Steve Harvey when yet he cheated on his wife. So it's like, what? You're not even practicing what you preaching. Then You got people writing books on how to raise kids. Okay, that's what it was before the Steve Harvey. It was people buying books that were written by people on how to raise kids when they don't even have kids. So it's like, what the hell? Like, what the hell is going on out here? Why is y'all taking advice from people who ain't even got what you trying to get? Kevin Samuels didn't have no wife. He had an apartment. Who knows how much money he had? But y'all, somebody said he had an apartment in Bankhead in Georgia. Now, I don't know if Bankhead is a bad neighborhood. I don't know. But it was just, it's so weird to me that we take advice from people who don't have what we're trying to get. And then another thing was that I found very, very odd to me, was how our community, like we as black people, we laugh and we relish in people talking bad about us. It doesn't make any sense to me. It never makes sense to me why women will go to his channel or whatever, because he was on YouTube. It never makes sense to me why women will go to his channel, or they will join his live or join the conversation or whatever, ask him for his advice, and then he talks bad about them, and then people are still listening. It never makes sense to me. Because first of all, I'm not looking towards a stranger for any damn advice. Because it's like, you don't know me and I don't know you. We don't know the circumstances. And then I'm just really just giving you the cliff notes of my life. And yet you talking to me as if you know me personally. And then you calling me fat. Like, I'm just like, what, huh? That don't make any sense to me. If you really wanted some advice, talk to the people that are in your life. People who have a first-hand experience on how you do things and what you do. It'll make more sense to me. But you had these women, and I never really watched Kevin Samuels like that to know how many people or like what the demographic was, but it seems as though it was more women than men that were going to his show to ask him for advice. But it was just, it doesn't make any damn sense to me. And usually it'll be, if it don't make sense, it don't make dollars. But hell, Kevin Samuels built his second part of his life, because I don't know what the hell he was doing before he got on YouTube, but he's made some money doing what he's doing, getting on social media or getting on YouTube and just talking bad to people. I never understood that. Just like people going on like Jerry Springer and Maury. Like, who the hell you going there just to embarrass yourself? It made no sense. And then another thing was, who wants advice from a person who doesn't like black women? Or what woman wants advice from a man that really doesn't like black women? Because the woman that he was with wasn't a black woman, and then people have said, or people have showed clips of him saying black women are ugly, or not necessarily saying that they were ugly, but you got the gist of it. He goes into how attraction is mathematical, that whole European look is prettier or more attractive than women with, wide noses, big lips, or whatever. So it's like, yeah, you don't like black women, and yet black women are just flocking to him. It didn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any damn sense. But to each his own. Because I couldn't do it. And then, I'm trying to figure out what demon did Kevin Samuel sell his soul to get this damn popular. Because I'm just like, well, if that's all it takes, like, I'm in the wrong profession. I am doing the wrong stuff on my own. Because how long has Kevin Samuels been doing YouTube? Or how long has he been present in you know, in the social media? Like, cause bitch, I've been doing podcasts, radio shows for like 3-4 years. And I don't have the same notoriety as he does. So I'm just like, what am I doing wrong? Maybe let me do that. Maybe you know, I'm using the wrong formula. Let me do the same stuff Kevin Samuels doing. Maybe I could, you know, get some notoriety, get some coins, get some money off of this. Cause over here, the way I had structured my show, or our show, sorry, the way the way that I really wanted the show to run was that we're not looking for viral moments. We really not. Over here, we do social commentary, but we don't jump on something just because it's going viral. Okay? And also, we don't do controversial stuff just so that people could listen. Because it doesn't make any sense to me. Because I'd be damned if I end up like Tasha K. Okay? You know, I'd be damned if I end up like, you know, a good deal of the black YouTubers where they're doing stuff just for clicks and views, and then they end up getting in trouble later on. It doesn't, you know, no. Like, who wants that? Like, no. I got enough problems in my own damn life. I don't need any problems on here. Okay? I got enough struggles out there. I've picked my struggle. Okay? So we've never wanted to jump on a viral moment, or we never really wanted to be so controversial to where people really don't even like us, and they just tuning in just so they can talk bad about us. Like, like, who wants to do that? It's so silly to me. Like those people at the the Fresh and Fit? Like those people, like spiritually it gets on my nerves. To where people are on here just saying some of the wildest shit. I'm sorry, the wildest stuff. They're saying the wildest stuff, and they're doing it for clicks and views. And I'm just sitting there looking like, why are people watching you? Or why are people even entertaining you? Especially because I've never watched the Fresh and Fit podcast. Never have. I've just seen the clips. And same with Kevin Samuels. Never watched him. I looked him up once because I was looking for the clip I talked about earlier about the woman, about Kevin Samuels saying you shouldn't believe your child if your child is saying the man is looking at you weird. Like, that's the only time I've actually looked him up. Never watched his lives, never watched his show, just barely see clips. And half the time, I won't even watch all of them because I'm just like, this is just so stupid. Like, who in the hell is actually watching this? Who is paying it? Like, why? Why? That's all I'm trying to figure out. Like, why are people actually watching this? Because it just doesn't vibe with me. Okay? Like, I watch people like Lovely T. I like Lovely T. I watch Mob Radio. Also, Milagro Grounds, who's on Station Head also. I watch her too. But sometimes when Mob Radio, because they're on Station Head, when they do some of the shows where people are calling in and people are like cussing each other out and just saying some wild stuff, sometimes I tune that part out. It's like, I'm kind of here for the celebrity gossip. I'm not really here for that. But, if you like that, okay, well, do you. But I just don't watch. Who watches stuff to see people be ignorant? I guess it's one of those. What is it? You're watching a train crash. You want to look away, but you kind of want to see. Like when you see a car wreck, you're rubbernecking, trying to see what the hell going on when it really ain't got nothing to do with you. I guess that's what it is. I guess that's why people were watching Kevin Samuels. It really didn't have anything to do with them. They just wanted to see. And child, I wish they gave me the same energy. I upload stuff on YouTube. I get like 2 or 3 views, and then one of them is me. One of them is me, you know, listening to my voice and saying, "Oh, I hate my voice," and you know, just seeing, you know, like trying to hear how the show kind of flowed to see if I could make any changes or whatever. Then the other two people was probably family members. so, so I wish people would come over here and listen and watch this train wreck. But child, I guess not. But yeah, I find the death of Kevin Samuels to be quite hilarious. It was kind of funny to me. And what was another thing I wanted to talk about him? You know, it was just funny. He died. He died of a fat person's problem. That was funny as hell. Now that I did kind of throw my head back and laugh. Because I'm just like, you over here telling people they fat and yet you done died of a heart problem. Like, what are the odds? What are the odds? And then, child, they talking about on Cinco de Mayo. Okay. But anywho, then I read somewhere where they were saying, now this could be a rumor, this could be totally fake because you never know with the internet. They're talking about how he didn't have a lot of money and they are setting up a GoFundMe for his funeral expenses. Okay, now that could be a rumor. It really doesn't matter. It was just one thing I was like, let me just bring it up just so people can hear about it. But one thing that I did find that actually was sad in this whole situation was how his mom had to find out through social media that her son had passed away. Now that is really sad, and then the fact that it happened right before Mother's Day is very sad. I did not find that part funny or anything, but I did find funny how he talked bad about black women and his mom is black. But I did not. To me, that was really sad that his mom had to find out on social media that her son was gone, and that was kind of messed up. That was. But moving on. My sister sent me this story, and when I tell you this was quite hilarious. Well, not hilarious, but I really want to see this play out. Okay, so there's this woman. Where is it at? Let me see if I could, because I did not prepare myself today. I kind of just jumped on here. Let me see if I can actually find the story. Give me 2 shakes of an oxtail. I'm actually trying to find the article for an article from the story, and then we're gonna play a YouTube clip from it. So there's this manhunt in Alabama and Tennessee, as my friend would say, because he's from where is he from? He's from Tennessee, but I don't know what city. Probably Nutbush. Anyway, so this woman named Vicky White. Vicky White, child. Vicky White, let me share my screen right quick. So on Station Head, people who are listening on Station Head, I do go live on YouTube if you ever just want to see what the hell I be talking about. But yeah, that's where you can find me. Go to Facebook or go to YouTube and type in Pick a Struggle Show, and bam, there we is. Okay, if you ever just want to see what I'm talking about. So there's this woman. Why is it not working? Come on now. There it is. There it is. Had to make sure. Okay. So Vicky White, child. Vicky White was this correctional officer in Alabama, and she ended up having a relationship with this man named Casey White, you know, who's a prisoner in Alabama. She's getting ready to retire, and a few days before her actual retirement, before they could sign the papers, she can get a pension and all that other stuff, she helps Casey White get out. And now they on the run, like some Bonnie and Clyde type stuff. And when I tell you, when my sister sent me this, I was just like, what the hell is going on out here? So I'm going to read this article. And this is like an update. They updated this 2 days ago. So they still ain't found these people. Ooh, excuse me. So U.S. Marshals have found a car associated with Vicky and Casey White. And no, they're not related. So that was one of the things. That was one of the things I had. I was like, okay, wait a minute. Hold up, wait a minute. Because, you know, especially when white people, you know, when white people be having the same names, you be like, okay. I'm like, okay. Y'all first cousins? Is y'all brothers and sisters? Bitch, especially in Alabama. You gotta, you know, you gotta, okay. But anyway, so let me go back to it. So U.S. Marshals have found a car associated with Vicky White and Casey White, the missing former Alabama corrections officer and inmate, in a tow lot in Williamson County, Tennessee. Now, this is what I found very weird. So I can tell you this stuff off the top of my head because I was reading this yesterday. So Vicky, they started this whole relationship, I want to say 2 years ago in 2020. Okay, mind you, Vicky was married, but her husband had died of cancer. God rest his soul. And so she started this relationship with Casey, who, bitch, is in jail for murder. Okay? So, a few days, probably like a week or two before her, you know, she signed the paperwork to be retired and all the other stuff. Casey needed to be transferred to another prison. And she got him to be transferred back into the prison where she was working at. Then she helps him escape. She's actually driving like the marshal's car or whatever, you know, the police car. She's actually driving a police car and walks him out through the front door. Yeah, puts him in the back seat. He's in handcuffs or whatever from the video. He's in handcuffs. She gets in the car, drives off, and they see them like in a camera from a gas station. And, you know, also at the prison, you know, they're on camera there too. Then they ditched that car and they end up getting an orange car. And I want to say it was a car that she had purchased right before the whole escape thing. Okay. Then they drive the car, but, you know, they still getting caught on camera. And then they ended up in Tennessee. Now, if you don't know, because I know us as Americans, we are bad with geography. If you know where Tennessee is in relations to where Alabama is, Tennessee is north of Alabama. And the thing I was trying to figure out is where the hell are they going? Because normally when you're running from the law, like Steve Harvey said, you want to go across the border somewhere, okay? You want to go across the border, go to international waters, you want to go do that. But these dumbass white people are going they going the wrong damn direction, going to Tennessee. Then they go to Tennessee, child. They try to, now this is the funny part. This is the funny freaking part. They try to spray paint the car a different color. Okay? They try to spray paint the car a different color. The car was originally orange. They done bought some spray cans and tried to spray paint the car black. But then when they realized ain't that much damn paint in the car, you know, it ain't that much paint in the can, they decided to ditch the car. Now nobody knows where they are. After they done ditched the car because they done found the car. And they see the failed attempts of them trying to spray paint the car. So now ain't no telling where they are. They probably on foot. Who knows? But this is just when I talk about just stupid people doing stupid stuff. And I was sitting there talking to my sister about it. She was saying, I can't wait for the Lifetime movie. I cannot wait for the Lifetime movie on this shit. Because this ain't the first time I've heard of stories like this where a woman is messing with one of the prisoners, and she helps him escape. And you know, they go on a run or they doing whatever, and then they end up finding him like in a barn or something. But okay, but this is I can't wait. I cannot wait to see how this story gonna play out. And so it said officials believe corrections officer. Okay, she was very well thought out plan from, and then they said that she didn't probably change the hair color because she was a blonde. Now she's probably a brunette now. Child, one of the things that said that maybe they posed it as like an old couple. Now, when I tell you life is funny, or like when shit happens to you, like this was too hilarious. So I'm reading the story, right? I'm reading the story, and they're saying they probably dressed up as an old couple, you know, probably wearing gray wigs and shit. Bitch, I go to Walmart, and I'm seeing two old white people stumbling into the Walmart. I was like, bitch, is that them? I was going to take a picture and, you know, call Crime Stoppers or something. But the shit was just hilarious. I was like, how did I read the story? And then all of a sudden, I go to Walmart, and I'm seeing the two old couple. And I'm looking to see if it was a wig up, you know, she got a wig on. Does he have a wig on? Somebody has said that maybe Casey, the dude, he's like over 6 feet tall, like 6'5", some shit. He's probably in a wheelchair, pretending to be an old woman. And then Vicky is, you know, pretending to be an old woman too. And is probably pushing his ass around in a bariatric chair, because that's the only chair that big ass man can probably fit in. So this whole story is hilarious. Hopefully when they find them, hopefully they don't shoot them to death, because I just want to hear the story. I want to hear the story. Okay? Whew. So that's really all I got for today. I got to get ready for work. I just want to come here and, you know, do a quick show, because we haven't been doing a show in the past like 2 or 3 weeks. That was partially my fault, partially LaPree's fault. But yeah, I want to just come here and just talk real quickly about Kevin Samuels' ass, about, you know, just how funny. When I say funny, I really do mean funny. Not I'm not going to cackle about him dying, but the circumstances of his death are funny. I have a tendency of laughing at ironic stuff. I am sorry. I can't help it. The only thing that wasn't funny was his mama finding out through social media. Like, who wants to do that? Now, that was sad. But I never understood, you know, just going back, you know, revisiting it, I just never understood why were we, because I'm just going to say we, because I don't want to single nobody out. Why were we drawn to Kevin Samuels? Excuse me. When all he really did, well, from the clips that I've seen, all he did was just talk bad to people. I think the only clip that I've seen where he really wasn't talking bad about anybody or people or whatever was when he did an interview with Nicki Minaj. I think he said that she was attractive or whatever, but child, okay. Like maybe he was just saying that because he didn't want the fan base to say anything, or maybe because Nicki Minaj is like she's a pretty woman, but she's not like you know she's like this dark skin with big lips and big nose, and from these quote unquote Nicki Minaj does not have these quote unquote unattractive traits that Kevin Samuels, you know, talked about. But I don't know. It's funny. He's talked about fat people, and yet he died of a heart problem. Child, I was listening to, who was I listening to? Was it King of Reeds? Justin J? Now his ass, you know, I can only take so much of Justin J. But Justin J gonna say, child, let me find out that he took one of those Viagra pills at the gas station. And that's what happened to him. Because somebody was saying he drinks a lot of Red Bull. That's why I don't drink energy drinks at all. Bitch, I be scared. Like, I'm fat already. I'm not finna add to the confusion by drinking energy drinks. I'm not finna do it. And then, okay. But no, they said he drinks a lot of Red Bull. Maybe he was on Viagra. Child. Then the gold, then the dye like the man in Color Purple. When Celia daddy had died, yeah. When Celia and Daddy died, and then Celia was like, oh shit, that really wasn't even my real daddy. But he died, so you know, I'm gonna go to the funeral and see what happened. And she see his new wife, and she was like, girl, how you die? The woman said, on top of me. Now, they didn't say that he was they didn't say that he died during intercourse. That's not what is being told. What they did say was he fell on top of the woman. Now, to me, that shit is funny. That's funny too. Okay. The fact that they was like, oh shit, like, oh girl, something ain't right. My chest a little hurt. And then the woman who supposedly be a nurse, who knows, who cares? It really doesn't even matter. But, well, if she was a nurse, damn girl, you couldn't have saved him. But the fact the woman is so-called a nurse, she's like, oh, something, okay, sit down or something. And then he just grabs his chest and then just falls on top of her. Bitch, I hope they wasn't naked. Let me tell you something. I hope they wasn't naked. Walk right there they did in the midst of him having like a heart attack or something. She's trying to help him put clothes on him before she called the ambulance. I can see that happening. I can see that happening. Him walking around in his drawers and shit. They sitting there doing God knows what. I wonder if they're gonna do what is it called? Like when they test your blood and shit for drugs, after you die. Besides the normal shit, besides the autopsy, it's something else, like drug oncology or some shit like that. Like, I wonder if they're gonna do that just to see what could possibly have caused this so-called heart attack. Because he wasn't a big guy. He wasn't fat or anything. He looked relatively fit, maybe. Chad, don't tell me they was in there doing drugs. Chad, don't tell me they was in there. What's it called? Doing that shit Amber Heard was doing on the stand during her testimony. And it was an overdose. Because he was doing just a little bit too much. Because people do that. A lot of people do that and you just don't know it. A lot of people would be doing drugs. They would do coke or whatever, one of those things that, speed the heart up. Mix that with Red Bull and then you got alcohol on top of that. And then you probably popping a pill or something to where the heart don't know what the fuck to do. And it's just and then you just croak over and just fall on the escort you had. Child. Could you imagine? Like, because they said she was a nurse. Some people are saying she was a lady of the night. Could you imagine not getting paid that night? Like could you could you imagine somebody dying on you? Like right after, and then I'm pretty sure they were, more familiar with each other. So she probably just took a little bit of, or she probably didn't care about not getting paid. But could you imagine, like Kevin being like your first one, like your like he's the first client, or could you imagine this is your first time meeting him? And you're like, okay, he's nice looking. Okay, we did the deed. We do, you know, we sit here trying to get high together. And then bam, he just dies. And it's like, damn, I got to call the police. I'm not going to get paid. What I'm going to do for the rest of the night? Let me stop. That was kind of wrong. But anyway, I'm going to go. We will see y'all, or y'all will hear from us next week. And what's going on next week? What are we going to talk about next week? I think we might still talk more about Kevin Samuels, about the subject matter, some of the stuff that he's talked about, not actually, you know, not him dying. I mean, because he dead and he gone, so ain't no point of bringing that shit back up again. But I guess we'll sit here and actually break down some of the stuff that Kevin Samuels have said in the past and try to make some sense of it on why he said it and why are men actually try to take his advice. Some of the shit he said was really weird. Like if a woman goes out on a date after 5, expect sex to be on the menu. Like it was just some weird shit, very weird shit. But we will get into it next week. I gotta go to work, and and I got some more stuff, some real personal stuff to talk to y'all about next week. So we'll see y'all later. Peace in the Middle East, and about the head grease on the other side of the river. Okay. We will talk to y'all later. Bye. Oh shit, what I just did.
It won't last. Look.
That's because I already did my 10,000 steps today.
Told you so.
Screw you, son. I'm going home.
And although my mind tells me that she's a messy, tacky bitch.
Today's segment is pretty much talking